Ginny Carr was attending a business meeting on the 36th floor of One Liberty Plaza, across the street from the World Trade Center, and caught the entire first attack on tape. A second explosion can be heard 9 seconds after the crash.
It sounded like something crashed.
Let's go back to that moment when we were on the air and the first crash took place.
Hey, can I get you on here also?
What the hell was that?
It sounded like a plane crash.
There was a reaction on the part of
Small change for the way things are implemented, you can get a big change today.
What the heck was that?
We've got the Encore.
Wow. It sounded like something crashed.
Let's take a look now. You can see here with this videotape that the camera was actually rolling. It was on the ground.
What the hell was that?
It sounded like a plane crash.
Georgia, met in New York to share their 40th birthday. They were having coffee in the World Trade Center when the first plane struck.
And all of a sudden it sounded like, I don't know where the subway is, but it sounded like a subway collision, a bomb, and it was just pounding, boom, 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 and I literally thought the subway had exploded and all the cars were supposed to land on top of us. It was so loud.
And what'd you do? They lost everything, money, ID.
Small private jet.
I was out here. I heard two explosions.
The plane hit that?
I heard two explosions. Two separate ones.
Small jet. Why the hell is it trying so damn low?
You know what? That could be a suicide jet.
Lauren Manning worked for Cantor Fitzgerald at the time and suffered burns on more than 80% of her body. Lauren Manning arrived for work at One World Trade Center that September morning on a day that seemed like any other. But as she entered the lobby, the plane struck and a fireball raced down the elevator shaft.
Sitting at my desk, we heard a loud boom, and we said, "What was that?" And I ran out to the window, and I look out and I see smoke. The next thing I saw, I mean, you got to look at it. The bottom elevator, the glass, just flames exploded out the front of the World Trade Center. Glass flew everywhere.
In the chaos of September 11th, there were countless acts of kindness and bravery between perfect strangers, people like Kenneth Summers and Stephen Newman. Kenneth was in the lobby of the North Tower when the first plane hit. He became engulfed in flames. Minutes later, Stephen, just blocks away, saw Kenneth burned and disoriented. He stopped and led him to safety. Kenneth, let me take you back to that morning of September 11th. I know you work on the 27th floor for Blue Cross Blue Shield, and you happened to be in the lobby, thankfully, mailing a letter. Tell me what you remember happening.
Well, I had walked out the revolving door from the lobby. It's the last door before you get to the outside. And I was going to walk around the building and go up to the Postal Service to get some special stamps. And I had no sooner walked out the door where I heard a whooshing, roaring noise. And I looked to my left, and I see a friend of mine with terror on his face, racing for cover. And then I saw several other people that I didn't recognize also heading for cover. And I looked, I had heard a boom and the ground tremble. And the next thing I know, I was looking up at the roof, and I'm seeing stuff coming off the roof. So I figured my best bet would be to get back into the building so to avoid the stuff coming off the roof. I know as soon as I had gone back into the revolving door when all of a sudden it seems like the whole lobby, the door I was in, and everything filled up with a yellowish, brownish, combustible mixture. I didn't really smell any different, but it wasn't, it took so quickly to happen. It was like a tenth of a second, and the next thing I know is a major explosion, of which I'm now thrown back out through both of these, through the revolving door and back outside underneath the overhang where the taxis would come in. I was on fire. I quickly put my shirt out and kind of doused my hair and just started to stagger away as fast as I could.
I guess the thought is that it was jet fuel that had sort of poured into the lobby that hit you, and as a result, you caught on fire. I know you were stumbling around, you were quite disoriented, and you can't really remember exactly what happened, but you were asking for help. You were trying to get someone to help you, but of course it was in complete chaos around you as people were jumping off buildings and rushing away from the site.
Arturo, let me tell you, Arturo, now you were manning what, a freight elevator?
I was running 58 car at the elevator that go from B6 to 108th floor.
Where were you when it happened?
Well, I was on my way from B2 to 49th floor, and as I took off, it was a matter of seconds, 5, 6, 7 seconds, I don't know, and there was a loud explosion and the elevator dropped. And when the elevator dropped, was a lot of debris and cables falling on top of the elevator, and I put my hand over my head and I say, oh God, I'm gonna die. But I didn't know what was happening. When the elevator finally stopped, they had an explosion that bring the doors inside the elevator, and I'm sure that was broke my leg. And then they had another explosion on the panel that threw me, against the wall, and I guess I was unconscious for a couple of minutes because somebody else was in the elevator with me, and they say that they was trying to get my attention and they didn't get no response from me.
I have it in a cast now, but so far it's been good. Thank God. I walked in here, it felt like a whole truck fell on me.
I can imagine. Can you just describe, where you ended up when you finally came to arrest, I guess, after this incredible ordeal? Just describe your surroundings. What were you seeing?
Well, like I said, I got on the 50 car, which is the freight elevator. I was going to do a job on a 46th floor, and the elevator operator closed the door. It was just me and him in the elevator. All of a sudden, I heard that explosion, and the doors blew, and the elevator dropped, and there was smoke, fire, water all over the place, debris, concrete, you name it, just fell on top of us.
How far did the elevator drop?
I can't really tell you, but I was caught in between the floors, and I was lucky, and there were some other guys, co-workers, like Artie says, there's all workers down on the B levels, and they just pulled me out, and they laid me on the floor.
At 8:30, he says he was headed to level B4 in Tower 1, 4 stories below ground.
I go downstairs, the foreman tells me to go to remove the containers. As I'm walking by the main freight car of the building in the corridor, that's when I got blown. I mean, the impact of the explosion, of whatever happened, it threw me to the floor, and that's when everything started happening. You don't know what happened, and all of a sudden you just felt the floor moving, and you get up, and the walls, and then, you know what I mean, now I'm hearing that the main freight car, the elevators, you know what I mean, fell down. So I was right near the main freight car, so I assumed what that was. Then, you know what I mean, you heard that coming towards you. I was racing, I was going towards the bathroom. All of a sudden, I opened the door, I didn't know it was a bathroom, and all of a sudden a big impact happened again, and all the ceiling tile was falling down, the light fixtures were falling, swinging out of the ceiling, and I come running out the door, and everything, the walls were down, and now I started running towards the parking lots. It blew me going into the doors of the parking lot. Then all of a sudden the heat, and it just came blowing through, and the heat that you felt was so terrible, and the explosion that happened, it was knocking down the walls, the ceilings were falling, the block walls were caving in, steel doors just looked like paper. I know of people that got killed in the basement. I know of people that got broken legs in the basement. People that got reconstructive surgery because the walls hit them in the face. And
In the B4 level, I was assigned to the B3 level, but I had to do something in the B4 sheet metal shop. So I went in the sheet metal shop, do what I had to do, and on my way, I heard a bomb. So I says, probably the transformer again blew up. So I stepped back, finished what I had to finish, and I started towards the door again. And there come a big blast with a big ball of fire. And that's when I got hit. It hit me right back down on the ground, and I realized that my ankle was shattered.
And
so you heard the sound?
Yeah, I heard the explosion sound like boom, boom, like that. And we kind of stopped and then asked, what's going on? And, you know, no one answered anything as yet. The smoke coming out from the elevator, not the passenger elevators, the freight elevators. So we start turning back and then say, let's go. So I ran, you know, very fast out of the building from the west side.
You're safe, you figure, right?
Yeah, I said, I figured that I can manage it, you know. I ran very quick outside the building, and I was very unlucky because probably it's in very early. So I fell down after 10 feet out of the building on the west side. Yeah, and just lying down there, just few seconds, I feel like a heat swept through my back and my skirt. I feel like very, very hot, you know, heat swept through like that. I kind of turn my face to the side, and I see the kind of sandstorm and the ball fire coming out from the building like huge.
Came out from the main floor of the building?
Yeah, came out from the west gate of the building. And with that, I saw girls and many others who usually smoke in the morning before they're going out to work, blew away with that fire on their back and their hair.
One World Trade Center, and then all of a sudden I heard rumbling and we all started running away from it. The glass like blew out and threw me onto the sidewalk, and I couldn't see for like 20 seconds.
Bottom? Yes, I was right there. I was down in the basement, came down, all of a sudden the elevator blew up, smoke. I dragged the guy out, his skin was hanging off, and I dragged him out and I helped him out of to the ambulance.
Pfeiffer was the first chief into the building. Right away, a guy from the Port Authority told him the damage was somewhere above the 78th floor. But all you had to do was look around. It was obvious. Something had happened right there in the lobby. They'd figure out that flaming jet fuel had shot straight down the elevator shaft.